I'm just on the edge of the woodland here at Ivywood, on our little back boreen, and I'm here with Síochána, which is your beautiful purple loosestrife or Lythrum salicaria, which is a magical herb for couples and for ceremony for couples as well. I was very lucky to have the privilege about 4 years ago of conducting a wedding ceremony for a really close friend of mine. And the couple very much wanted to use herbs as part of their ceremony. They wanted to have them burnt and offered. And so what I did was, they live in London, and I sent them about maybe 8 or 10 different herbs that we use here traditionally in Ireland for ceremony or for binding or for love, and that are used in those kind of rituals for couples and for relationship strengthening. And for them to choose which ones that each of them would like to burn in the ceremony. And the groom, he chose Síochána, which is your purple loosestrife. And as the name suggests, the Irish name, Síochána, means herb of peace. Certainly does bring Síochána agus céile to couples, so peace and harmony to couples, and that's why he chose it and wanted to burn it for their ceremony, to convey that he will always endeavour to bring peace to their relationship and harmony to them throughout their lifetime together. So beautiful intention with this herb, and like many of the other binding herbs that were traditionally used for marriage ceremonies, Síochána was certainly a really nice one to bring into the ceremony. But this plant, Lythrum salicaria is its Latin name, it also has a number of medicinal uses. It's lesser known or not known at all by many Western herbalists, and a bit more known by maybe some American herbalists now, thanks to the work of Timothy Lee Scott, who has written a good bit about the plant. And if you are a herbalist and you'd like to know more about its plant chemistry and how to use it clinically, then checking out his work in invasive plant medicine, one of his books, would be really useful for you. Over there it's considered an invasive plant, but here it's a native, and I am always welcome seeing it growing across the Irish countryside amongst all the beautiful meadowsweet. It really stands out, but actually I was glad to see that it had moved kind of off the land and onto the edges of the land, and I thought that was a really good sign that maybe myself and Ross didn't need Síochána so much in our lives anymore. But it is an amazing medicinal plant as well. So this plant is lesser known or not even used at all by herbalists. There's kind of ignored, but it's very hard to ignore it because it's so stunning, always out here amongst the meadowsweet, all across the marshy kind of wetlands of Ireland, and it is an incredible astringent. Lots of different herbal books will talk about its old traditional uses, from everything from diarrhea and dysentery, and used as a gut herb, to use also as a respiratory herb as well. So that's another way in which people can work with it. I'm hoping to harvest a tiny bit of this lovely Lythrum salicaria, or your Síochána, to include into some oxymels that I'm making with different herbs and seeds for winter time. And I also really want to dry a tiny bit for to keep for creating some creams or lotions for different types of skin issues. So something that's really exudate or kind of pus or fluid exuding, so those kind of wounds, or even like exudate eczema, because it is also extremely anti-inflammatory properties to this plant. And it would be really useful in a cream or a lotion for exudate type eczema. So that's what I'll be harvesting a tiny bit of it for. But certainly if you are a herbalist and you're interested in learning more about the plant phytochemistry and the medicinal actions of the beautiful Lythrum here, or your Síochána, then definitely look up Timothy Lee Scott. He's an American herbalist, and he's written quite a lot about this gorgeous purple loosestrife. Over in America it's considered an invasive plant, but in his book Invasive Plant Medicine, he has some really interesting things to say about how this plant can bring healing, and how as clinicians we can yeah, employ this plant to help others. So that's a really nice thing to look up if you're also a herbalist. But certainly there's some of the reasons that I'll be harvesting a little bit of this today, and I will be bringing a little bit back to Ross as well. We could certainly do with a little bit of Síochána agus Céile in the home. So whether it's for your loved one, whether it's for a friend, where there's been a bit of strife, a bit of argument, or that you would like to make an intention and an offering of peace and harmony between the two of you, or into your household, then certainly working with Loosestrife can be really helpful, and it's a really nice way to think about this plant. So if you do happen to stumble across it on your walks, at the moment it is in flower, it's looking gorgeous, and yeah, maybe you might think about asking the plant, can you take a little flowering head from it for a little peace offering for a loved one.